Okay, this is NCL Beginner Prep for those who are new to the NCL or who just need a refresher on things. I'll try to keep this recording short so that way it's just the easiest to run through with no problems because I know if I make it long, nobody's gonna look at it. And I'll try to include timestamps here and there so it's easy to go through the video too if you already did most of these steps and you're mostly just here for a review or just a refresher. So, first, you want to get registered with the NCL, and you'll click this link, and how it'll look through your point of view is this. You go through here, register now, and you create your account. Make sure to sign up with your John Jay email, so that way you're linked to the school and you can represent us. And make sure you put John Jay as the organization / the school. And over here, after you're done creating your account, you would click this link and it'll take you to our team where you can join. And after that, we want to get set up with VirtualBox and Kali Linux because once we get to the advanced challenges, the use of a terminal and Kali Linux will be very helpful. So to install these, I actually deleted my instances of VirtualBox and Kali Linux, so this will be a fresh start. So I can just run through you guys how to install it. And if you click this link here, it takes you where you can download the Kali Linux installation image. This is made to work with VirtualBox, and then this is made to work with VMware. So I'm going to be using VirtualBox, so I'll download this. Then I'll click the second link to download VirtualBox. Okay, and now we're just waiting for those two. And after those two download, I'll show you guys how to run it. I've already cut this video out to the point where I got the files downloaded. Okay, now we have both instances downloaded. And first, I want to open up VirtualBox to get that installed. There we go. Okay, now VirtualBox is set up. Now, with these files, I want to extract them to any folder where you can just access this, or you can unzip the file. Whatever works for you. You just want a place where you can access it. Then while that's doing this thing, I'm gonna launch VirtualBox. Actually, can I remove this? I'm just removing that because for some people it might not pop up right away, but if you did it right and extracted beforehand, it should pop up here automatically and you should be good to go. But just to start from a raw start, what I would do here is click that file. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. For some situations, you might need more memory to run certain programs, so that's why Mine is set to 2048 from using it before. Yours might be to the preset 1024. And I would just recommend upping it because when I was at first 1000 megabytes, it actually crashed for some programs, for like password cracking especially, since that takes up a lot. So, just show you guys a quick run through real quick. Then you don't have to do anything here, just let it start up by itself. Then for both the username and password, it's Callie. Now you're in. You have all these tools right in your hands, terminal, Firefox, whatever you need. And if you want to save the machine state, just send the shutdown signal, power off. But for now, just gonna power off. Close that. And yeah, that is study of VirtualBox Kali Linux. Alright, so on to part 2, Introduction to Linux and Basic Commands. This is for people who have not used Linux at all and have no idea how to work it. I have links and resources here that you guys can use. So, Linux journey, very basic. It takes you through the first steps, basically teaches you from step 1 all the way to I would say intermediate level. And you can just go through the exercises here, even come through with some quiz questions that you can test yourself with. And talks about the different types of Linux instances. And yeah, this is really helpful to just get to know Linux and some basic scripting knowledge. And second way you can practice and learn is by actually going to this Wargames, clicking the second link and going to this Wargames website, where it teaches you from very elementary beginner level to very advanced. Even tells you the order in which to play the games based on your experience. But if you're a noob, you start a very beginner, you start from Bandit. And from here, this is where you can use the virtual machine and use Kali Linux, where you open up the terminal and then you connect using this host and this port number. And it even shows you how to connect and everything if you're very, very new to Linux. Even shows you how to use the SSH command. And for each level, it gives you reading material and commands that you will use. And it's also a lot of trial and error. I mean, that's mostly how it is with cybersecurity and just life in general, you know? So, it'll tell you what to do and how to get to the next level. And from there, you can learn a bunch of commands and how to work with Linux. And also, it goes into depth into some attacks. So, those two very great resources for learning Linux. And if you're not the hands-on type, practical type, I also linked a bunch of videos that you guys can follow along with. This is really nice, beginner friendly. It's a crash course for beginners. It goes through really slow how to install it as well. Going through the terminal, working with directories, files, file contact, etc., etc. Then, for the second level, you can go to this video for Linux for ethical hackers. And he goes over a description of what he goes over. I'll just glance through it really quick so you guys can see. Network commands, viewing, creating entity files, services, tools, and scripting with Bash. And finally, if you want to get ahead, want to get some extra knowledge, there's like the whole ethical hacking course, 12 hours long. Show you guys what it goes through. Yeah, it goes through a lot. I mean, you have to read it. You guys can look through it yourselves. So, I even put the numbers in the order you guys can go from. And for those who like to keep track of their progress and make sure they're heading on the right path, I also linked a flowchart that is pretty good. I mean, this is mostly for pen testers, and I would say, because and it's not really that reliable, and you shouldn't follow it heart to heart, because there's so many different paths that you can take in cybersecurity. It's really a wide range field. It's like if you ask a doctor what type of doctor they want to be. But some of the basic start is very helpful. Like everyone's gonna know how to use Linux, networking, and using Windows servers, and maybe you'll branch off into cloud computing, cloud security, a bunch of stuff you can do. But I think this was nice. I got this from Reddit. If you search up Reddit cybersecurity or just go on any subreddits that have to deal with penetrating testing or ethical hacking or cloud security, you can find a bunch of resources and a bunch of help from there if you want to dive deeper on your own. I think this is nice for people who want to stay track and make sure they're not forgetting any groundwork. And yeah, that's about that. I'm not really going too much into depth for these links because you need to really do it yourself. I can only show so much and teach so much that this is a very hands-on thing. The only way you'll learn is just by practicing, practicing, practicing to trial and error. It's really the best way to learn and the only way to learn. And the more you practice and the more you learn, then you can make your own unique projects, which you can put on your resume and showcase to employers. So for the last part, I'm gonna do some exercise in the gymnasium and then show you guys through these links I posted. So I'm gonna go over here. And the thing I should mention is Google is allowed during the competition. The rule is that you can use any resources as long as it's free and able to access by anyone. So I'm going to go through exercises meta, HTTP, and barcode. For these, I actually already did. So I'll just run through real quick. It's really simple. For this, you can use either a terminal or you can simply search it up. Just for today and sake of time, I'll show you guys how to just simply search it up. So first you want to do is save the image. And to extract the metadata, simply, if you're going into this raw and you didn't know what metadata is, you can just simply search up metadata here online. And from here, you can test out a bunch of links to get the answers to questions that you want. You want to know when the image was created, dimensions, the make, the model, the camera, exposure time, and where was the picture taken. So we'll try this first link and see how it is. So awesome. Give us a image size, the GPS coordinates, the make, the model. But we are missing the exposure time. Let's see if we can find that. Yep, there it is. Just glanced over it. And for these, since they ask for decimal places, what you simply do is search up GPS latitude longitude converter. Then from here, you can actually, not sure if this website translate it. Yeah, well. So from here, 3952 minus 20 00 and 30 36. Then from here, you actually convert to free, and then you can paste that in, then that'll be the answers to the questions. So yeah, dimensions 1024 by 768. What does it make? Apple, model, iPhone 5, exposure time 1 by 640, and the GPS coordinates. And that's the first challenge done. I'll open up VirtualBox real quick to show you guys how to get it done through the terminal. So say if you didn't want to use any risky websites, or you just want to learn through the terminal for the sake of learning through the terminal. It is quicker in some instances if you already have the terminal open, and it's pretty reliable. And whenever I ask you a password for anything, it'll always be Kali. So first, we want to install exif tool. Cool. And you just type that command in, and then the exif tool is downloaded. So to access the file, I have to find out where it is, right? So from here, go to my downloads. I have to download the image from the net. Yeah, so since you're basically in a whole other operating system, it's basically like having another computer, so you kind of have to download everything when you switch to a terminal. Okay, cool. It should be ls downloads now. There it is. Alright, so what I would do is exif tool / downloads / meta ppg. Oh, there we go. And here it goes. It gives you the GPS coordinates, the make, the model, exposure time, and what was the other thing we were looking for? Make, model, and what was the image created? Create date, right here. Gives you the date and the time. So yeah, it's a quite neat little trick. It's definitely is faster than searching up because some websites might not give you all the details. So that's how you can do it the terminal way. And that is exercise 1. Next, I'll be doing HTTP. And for this, you don't even need a terminal, or you don't even need to search it up in Google. All you need to do is actually click this, or this actually. Protected soundboards. Or actually, it is this. And yeah. So this is basically knowing the layout of HTTP and how to access these to get the answers to these certain questions. So it's asking what HTTP request header is used to denote what URI link to the resource being requested. What HTTP request header is used to identify the client software that made the HTTP request? What HTTP request header is used to identify the acceptable content types that can be returned? And as you saw right there, this is how I can find all the answers to our questions. So first, look through, and what was it? Oh yeah, actually for these, can I actually just search it up? Oh yeah, I got confused with that question. For these, you can actually just search it up. For and for this, you have to do a little bit of digging. And how I run through this is I'll try to find unique words in a sentence. So let's say identify. Identifying the original IP address. That is not what we want. We want something to do with client software. Identify the operating system and browser of the web server. That is what we want. Now we'll go here. And as you can see, since I already did it, I had to show through this. Refer is right for that one. Second was right for user agent. As you can see there, the last one was accept. How I do that is I would see acceptable content. So let's say I just try to search up content. And from here, I look through. And these have to do with what the question is asking. So let's try just say acceptable or accept. First try accept. And from here, see it's this. Also asking request header. So we see from here it is a type of request header. I mean they all are actually. But if you look at the first definition, it says accept header is used to inform the server by the client which content type is understandable, aka allowed by the client expressed as MIME types. So what the client has expressed as acceptable, which is what we're looking for here. And yeah, accept. And if my explanations don't cover everything, or it seems as if I'm missing anything, or I just haven't explained it well, you can actually search up the NTL YouTube channel. And they have a whole YouTube channel here that actually runs through the gymnasium challenges. So say I go over here and I search up for open source challenges, and here you go. Open source intelligence basics. Goes through some slides with really good information. Basically gives you a brief overview and how you can get better at looking stuff up. And then he actually goes through some gymnasium exercises as well. So as you see here, he uses the website method and he runs through all this. You guys can check that out on your own. Pretty sure I also linked it. Yeah, I also linked it in the Google Docs so you don't have to search it up. Okay, that was HTTP. Last but not least, in the open source intelligence module, we have this. So it asks us, what is the flag hidden in the barcode? So, how would you go about solving this if you had no idea what to do? So, at first, it actually asks you what format does the barcode use, and from that, you might say, well, how would I know? Well, if you don't know, then look it up. So, let's see, barcode reader. Also, don't forget to install it. Save the image, and I just use the first link. And from here, take the image. There we go, read. And it tells us the type of barcode it is. Then I'll input here code 39, which is correct. And then what's the flag hidden in the barcode? So it actually reads it for you, which is nice. And then you'll copy this and paste it as I did here, and it was correct. And if anything, if you get really stuck, there's a solution guide that shows you how to go through it as well. And that's it for open source intelligence. Next is cryptography. I also linked the YouTube video here that's uh, linked to the National Cyber League channel, which they run through it and do the same thing with open source intelligence, give you a brief overview, give you some helpful tools, and run through some exercises. And also, if you want to dive a little deeper, I also included this link, which goes into types of ciphers, real world applications, and Java scripting with ciphers. If you want to look at that on your own time, then this is my recommended go-to cryptography tool that I use for basically all the cryptography models. I never needed anything else except when it comes to stuff with stegography. Yeah, until it comes to stuff with hidden messages and images. That is another tool I'll show you guys in a sec. But yeah, this is gonna be your main go-to when it comes to ciphers. So I'll go back over here, and what I'm gonna do today is pull this off to the side. What I'm going to do today is Crypto 2, 6, Stego 1, and Stego 3. So, Crypto 2. And for the first one, it actually tells you about how to run through it, and it even gives you the video link, and it even explains base numbers. For this, you can do it on your own. It's pretty easy. You should figure it out on yourself. And if not, there's always a solution guide over there. But for this one, remember Google is allowed during the competition, and the resources have that I linked before are available as well, because they're both free and accessible by everyone and anyone. So for here, you have no idea what this is, but you can definitely tell it's a certain type of cipher where they mix up the letters. So if you had no idea what this is and you couldn't identify it, what I would do is go to the tool that I mainly use. Now you can simply search up by searching up Caesar cipher. By clicking this link, actually has a tool where it identifies the cipher for you. So first, I will copy this, paste it here, and go to search up Caesar identifier, paste that, have it analyze. And from here, it's telling me it's most likely a rot cipher. So, go to here, paste the Jamvalop word, and let's try brute force to see what it happens. So, the first result it gives us is Virtual Lake. It was a rot cipher shifted by 13. If you're not sure what that is, you can go to the links that I send you and it explains it. But basically, a raw ciphers, or there's a shift in letters. So basically, I is 13 places away from V, so that's they got to V, and then et cetera, V, 13 places away from I. And yeah, they all each letter follows the same pattern, and that's what the AI was able to detect in the cipher identifier. So we go here, we copy this, and we paste it here. See what we got. And that is correct. And that's it for that problem. And if you're stuck, there's always the solution guide here. Shift cipher, raw13, even gives you the tool to decrypt it. Or you could do it by hand if you want to get fancy. Next, crypto 6. Okay, so now for this one, our analysts have obtained an encrypted message. We know that the key, so it gives us a key, was used, and see if you can crack it. We have this whole jumbo wumbo. So, what I would do again is copy the same scrambled message, go back to cipher identifier, then from here, I'll paste that same jumbled up word, but for this part, I actually did insert something includes keywords, if any. So since they give us a key here, I want to input that we have a key that we can use so that AI can know to filter out other ciphers that don't require a key. So we have here the Vigenary cipher, and from here it it gives us a key to input, which just means we're going in the right direction, so the cipher might work. So I go from here, I copy that, paste it there, then I copy the key that they gave us, and I paste it here, and let's see if it works. And it gave us this along with the flag, and let's see if it works. And it did. So anytime they give you a key and a jumbled up word, you just want to input into the cipher identifier this jumbled up word and the fact that it gave you a key. You want to help the AI as much as possible filter out other ciphers that you don't need. That way it can be as accurate as possible. Because if I didn't, as you'll see, it'll give us different results and it actually say the KO cipher is more accurate. But for this, just this uses a disk alpha ciphertext, which it tries to kind of use. It says here polyalphabetic algorithm, but to solve this certain cipher, we do need the key, and there's no place to input the key, so that obviously won't work. So just to help yourself and AI get to your problem quick as you can. So that way you don't have to go through this, see if it works, go through this, see if it works, go through this, see if it works. And yeah, that was Crypto 6. And for the last question, we will go to Stego 3. Okay. Now we have this image here, and it says the hackers have hidden a message in this image. Find out what it is. And the first question it asks is what is the MD5 sum of the hidden file? So for this, you actually use a tool to get the hidden file out and bring it to an empty file in which you can see what the hidden files are encompassed of. So to do that, I would search up digital invisible ink toolkit, and from here you can download it. There we go. if we go back, it even shows us how to run the program, some examples, how-tos, documentations, etc., etc. But if you wanted to, uh, if you wanted to know how to launch the program, it tells us right here, and with this certain amount of RAM that you want to use. But if you're using Windows and not a virtual machine, you can just simply click the file and it'll open. So I want to open that using the terminal, which I have over here. And for me, I found that I don't really need to include the RAM argument because I already input enough earlier when I first started the machine. Oh yeah, I can't forget to run Java. Forgot. Let's see if Java's up and running. Yep, should be good. Yep, because if you forget to run Java, it just simply won't work. And I actually have to get the specific file location. So java.jar downloads. And here we have the tool. And from here, I would save this image, download that. And whenever you're doing this type of method, it always asks to pick a message file to write to. So for this instance, you have to, every time you do this, you decode an image and you want to get the hidden file out and be able to see it and see the header message of it. You have to create an empty file in order to transfer that. So I'm just gonna make an empty file in the pictures folder. Just label it exercise 1. Here we have our empty file which we'll transfer into it. And we'll actually label this into .jpg. Then from here, open the file. Make sure it's the correct file. Yep. Then I'll get my other file. And oh yeah, I forgot to explain that there are different algorithms that the system might use to decode the image, and what I like to do is just go run through step by step because I can't first with algorithm to use just from blind sight. So if that one didn't work, I'll just keep going to blind hide, and I usually skip these two. They never work for me, so then I will go to filter first and then hide and seek, and then eventually it will say that same message that popped up. Success message was retrieved. So I go over here to my pictures because I want to see if there's anything in the preview that I can look at to see if it gives me the flag or any hints to the flag. And here we have these certain symbols. Now, since I already did these problem before, I already know what these symbols are, but say if I didn't, I can open up Firefox and actually do a Google. I can go to images.google.com. I can actually do a reverse image search. I can do a reverse image search to see what these symbols are. And that's why I labeled it JPEG beforehand, so it can register as an image file. So we go over here, we try to search for it, and then we see it's Egyptian hieroglyphics. So I'm guessing the flag is hidden within these hieroglyphics. So what I do is search up Egyptian hieroglyphics translator. And then from here, I go to the site where it would show me what the symbols mean. And here we go. It does. So we compare it side by side. We can go through. So we get a text editor, our notepad. So the first one is the rope, and the rope is H. Second one is a reed, so it's either E or I. Next is hand, which is D, and we got another hand, so double D. And next is the wave. Next, so that is N. Oh, we actually have another read, so this could be E or I again. Next, we move on. We have an owl, which that will stand for M. Next, we got the read again, so either E or I. And next, we have hold a cloth, and we have two of those, so double S. And next, we have vulture as A, stand G, another read, so E or I. And last but not least, another S. So, judging from this, I would guess this is messages and not my messages, just for using simple problem solving skills. And from this, we can depict that this is probably hidden, since the E works better in that case, and the E works better in this case for hidden messages. So, let's try that. Oh yeah, first we had to get the ND sum of the hidden file. So now that we have the hidden file extracted, we can actually search up ND5 sum file checker. And from here, you can click the first link that comes up. And we can drop the file that has the hidden file. And from here, it gives us the ND5 file. And since it already told us it was ND5, we didn't have to check which file hash it was. So that was nice, but if we didn't know what it was, we can search up file hash identifier or hash analyzer. Um, Huh, I guess I already is. And there's also 2 and Kali Linux. I told you, if you didn't know the hash before, but I gave you the hash, you can actually input the hash here and it'll tell you what type it is. So if I put it in here, it tells us it's most likely ND5, which it is. Let's say right tells us in the beginning. So I'll go over here, press copy, and let's see if that's right. Correct. And what is the hidden message? From what you depicted earlier, we are trying to see if hidden message is the correct answer. So if we type in hidden messages, and it's both correct. Yeah, that is the run through between cryptography and open source intelligence. If anybody has any questions, be sure, don't be afraid to DM me on Discord and I'll help you through any problems or through any installations. And yeah, that is it for today. Hope that was simple enough for you guys and enough clarification. If anything, you guys have the videos here and the websites that I linked here if you want a better explanation or more in depth. And yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.